Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, dunong at tulog. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Katipunan.
Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit Music Ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
We're on. All right. Okay. Hello. Are we on? Okay, here we go. It's exactly 7:04 in the evening. Good evening. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat who are tuned in to us on Radyo Katipunan 87.9. We are on online radio at this time, and you can also catch this episode of JMM Radio on Radyo Katipunan on Facebook and also on YouTube Live. And we're also streaming live on the Facebook of JESCOM and on the Dulaang Sibol Facebook. Good evening. Ako po si Cholo Malilin Yes, nagbabalik Radyo Katipunan after quite a while. Yes, it's been a while. And this isn't really my show. This is a takeover. Yes, tonight is JMM Takeover, and tonight Dulaang Sibol. Yes, the esteemed theater group from the Ateneo High School is taking over JMM Radio. All right, this is JMM Takeover as we celebrate tonight 65 years of Dulaang Sibol, or rather of Ateneo Theater in the Ateneo High School. All right, 65 years of theater in the Ateneo High School, 55 years of Dulaang Sibol. All right, and also well, I'm not sure if we're also celebrating the anniversary of the actual building itself. You know, because there was a time that where we used to celebrate a triplet celebration. You know, the celebration of Ateneo Theater, the Dramatic Society, which started out way back 65 years ago in the Ateneo High School. And then when that theater group was renamed the Dulaang Sibol back in 1964, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 55 years, give or take, okay, of Dulaang Sibol. And I'm pretty sure that also coincides with the anniversary of the building. So probably another 10 years after that. So mga 40 plus years. Wow, Sibol, Dulaang Sibol has really come a long way. All right. Dulaang Sibol is not usually affiliated with the Jesuit Music Ministry or Jesuit Communications, although we are taking over the show tonight. All right. But Dulaang Sibol did release an album under JMM and participated in JESCOM and Jesuit activities throughout the year. So might as well take over JMM tonight. So I am calling on all the Sibolistas present to at this time in the show, show yourself, turn on your cameras, and there are quite a few of you already on air with me. All right, so may I call on who wants to go on air? Of course, ang ating suking guest, Mr. Toto Sorioso. Hello, Toto.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself, your Sibol batch. So lahat po ng ating mga guests from Dulaang Sibol tonight are from different batches. So sige, let's start off with you. Hi, To. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. I am Toto Sorioso from batch 1996.
Batang-bata, 96. 90s kids sa Sibol. All right. Okay, let's introduce Ali naman. Ali Figueroa. Hello.
Yeah, Ali Figueroa, batch 1994.
Nakakainis, mga 90s babies to mga to. But it makes me feel so old. Mamaya ako na i-reveal ko anong age ako, anong batch ako sa Sibol. And next up, we have Raf. Hi, Raf.
Hello, Sir
Ako,
Cholo.
mas bata pa to. Hello. Yes.
Hi, I'm Raf Bernardino, DS batch 2019 po.
Hi. All right. 2019. So you are still hindi. Kaka-graduate mo lang. Kaka-graduate mo lang from
Hindi po.
Sibol?
Currently sophomore year na po ako sa college.
Okay. All right. So it's been a while. 2019. Oo nga
Yes
naman.
po.
This is school year 2021. Okay. So hello and thank you. Welcome, Raf. Next up,
Thank you po.
can we introduce Dino? Dino Santos. Hi, Dino.
Hi, hello. Dino Santos, batch 2007.
Yan, 2007. Okay. And next up, we have some yes, we have some lovely ladies. Okay. Okay, because back in a few years back, okay, when the senior high school became became co-ed. All right, a few years back, naging co-ed din ang Dulaang Sibol, di ba? After so many years of just being a boys club theater group, the ladies came in. Maybe they can give us a background on what year they actually started in Dulaang Sibol. So I'm looking at Jana. Hi, Jana. Can you introduce yourself and your batch in Sibol?
Hello po, Sir Cholo. So I'm the current girls rep of batch 2021. So these are my co-girls. So if you can introduce yourselves. Go, guys.
Welcome, welcome.
So, Camila, can you start?
Hello po, ako si Camila Del Rosario na batch 21 po.
Wow. So current batch ka, Camila. Nice. And we have Jade. Hello, Jade.
Hello po, I'm Jade Vega, also batch 21.
Hi. Jade, okay. Also a current Sibol member. And next up we have Mayumi. Hi, Mayumi.
Good evening po. I'm Mayumi Crisostomo. I'm also from batch 2021.
All right, mga ano pala to, mga batchmates. Okay, and finally, we have, is it Carmela? Ana Carmela. Hi, Carmel.
I'm Anna Carmel, also batch 21.
There you go. All right, and as current ladies of Sibol, lady members of Sibol, teka, ihuli ko na yung isang female rep because ano to, she's going to be talking, she's going to be leading you in conversation later on. Pero itong current batch of Dulaang Sibol ladies, so you just started this year as members for Dulaang Sibol in senior high? Tama ba?
Our batch actually started, well, we joined Sibol in 2019. But Sibol girls officially started being accepted, I think, in school year 2017-2018, if I'm not wrong.
Ayan, there you go. Thank you for the background. And let me bring in at this time, Miss Mitzi Lau, my lovely Sinta. Hello, Mitzi.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's so good to see everyone.
Oh, ikaw hindi ka current Sibol batch. Please reveal what year did you actually become a member, an official member of Dulaang Sibol, Mitzi?
If I remember correctly, I joined in the year 2008-2009 when I was in third year high school.
Wow, quite a while back, huh? And I had the good fortune of playing alongside you in a production of Sinta, right? Yay! But
yes,
even then, I was way ahead of you in years. So, okay, it's good to see you again, Mitzi. Later on, you'll join us when we do a little segment on the ladies of Dulaang Sibol. Ayan. Tapos meron pa ako hindi pinapakilala kasi nire-reserve ko siya because he is the esteemed gentleman. He is the most senior member of us currently here. So ako, I am batch 87, but fortunately for me, I am not the most senior in this group tonight. May I call on my good friend, Mr. Ray Miranda? Ayan. He is really the
I'm going to help Cholo feel a whole lot better about the fact that he's now not the youngest, the oldest member of this group. So that's probably the main reason why I'm around.
No, by all means, you are here because you are the legacy. You are actually up first for telling us a little bit of Dulaang Sibol for tonight. Well, siguro let's start off by letting our viewers know that tonight is a special episode because we celebrate everything that is Dulaang Sibol, not just the group, but the tradition and the legacy that is left for the Ateneo, and the history spanning, diba, 65 years. And of course, we cannot mention Dulaang Sibol without mentioning in the same breath the man who actually started it all, no, Mr. Onofre Pagsanghan. And we'll be talking a lot about him and his legacy. He just very recently turned 94, if I'm not mistaken. Tama ba, boys? 94 na ba si Mr. Pagsi or pinatanda ko pa siya?
93.
93, sabi ko na nga ba. Ayan, thank you, Ali, for correcting me. So, yes, 93 years old. So, imagine mo, there is so many memories of Dulaang Sibol. And mabuti na lang, just very recently, we captured all those memories in a very special book. All right? This book, which we launched just a few weeks ago, ayan, pakita mo, Ali, Alalahanin, Our Memories of Dulaang Sibol, which contains 39 essays of various Dulaang Sibol members through the years and friends from our very long history. Okay, so we'll tell you more about this book as we go through our memoirs of Dulaang Sibol, all the way back from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, until these young ladies came in the mid 2000s. Okay, so let's start off the show because this is meant to be a radio show with music. All right, so let me start off with a special tribute video. Okay, just very recently, we lost a member of Dulaang Sibol, a very esteemed member of Dulaang Sibol. He was known as one member who went on to pursue an acting career. He actually appeared in several movies of note. Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag, tama ba? He was part of that movie, a very much lauded and many accolades that came with that movie. He was there, but most notably also he appeared in the movie version of the Dulaang Sibol play Sinta. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Sinta actually was made into a film back in the 70s. All right, and he portrayed, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie version he was Narding for the Sinta movie. But actually, his original role, he actually was the original Matanglawin for Sinta, back when Sinta was still just a one-act play. Okay, so the first thing that we will let you hear by way of a musical tribute is video of Mr. Ariosto Reyes Jr.'s or Nonong Reyes final performance of a song from the longest running musical theater play, Sinta. Okay, and of course this is Alalahanin by Mr. Nonong Reyes. So maybe let's play that at this time.
Dulaang Sibol then, located by the rear entrance of the cafeteria, with the track and field on its side, was not impressive at all. It was slightly bigger than a regular classroom with makeshift lights. Having performed in bigger theaters, like the Cultural Center of the Philippines, Fort Santiago, and just even the Ateneo Grade School Auditorium, where our annual plays were held, Dulaang Sibol, I'm sorry to say, was a far cry. I could not imagine how a play could be mounted in such a small space. There was no such thing as backstage. We had barely about 4 feet between the backdrop and the wall. There was no dressing room, and there was only one powder room. In that backstage permeated the smell of athletes' food and a very pungent smell of a lot of residue from miscalculations to the toilet bowl. However, when Mr. Pagsi let go of his imagination, using simple materials like strings, cheesecloth, broken mirrors, sound effects from his children's celopipes, and a little stage of makeshift lights, the entire place was transformed into an actor's den. Alalahanin ang tagaraw natin nang ikaw ay bagong taong mahiyain. Alalahanin at ang tagubilin sundin. Yan po mga kapwa akong simbolista. Ang awiting pinagmulan ng ating pinakaboritong dula, ang dulang Sinta, isinulat ng ating pinakamama na si Onofre Pagsang.
Alalahanin, gunitain, kahapon natin sariwain, ngang kay lumanay, agos ng buhay. Alalahanin, gunitain, ng puso natin, wala pang galos. Pangarap natin, wala pang gapos. Alalahanin, gunitain, kahapon natin sariwain ng batis lamang ang tumatangis at ang pag-ibig anong tamis alalahanin gunitain kahapon natin sariwain.
And there you go. Very touching, a very touching tribute to, of course, the some of the oldest memory holders of Dulaang Sibol. You just saw there a version of Alalahanin by attorney Jimmy Hofilenia, one of the first few Dulaang Sibol performers who portrayed Narding. Actually, siya po yung Narding when I started watching Sinta back in the mid 80s, and even then he was already way out of high school. So he started off playing Narding, I'm pretty sure sometime in the 70s, and Ray can join me now and maybe just relive those memories. And of course, the very stirring tribute there to Mr. Nonong Reyes. Nonong, who just recently passed last August, di ba? Parang August 23 lang. And yung notes of that particular performance that we saw, that we were able to see, were actually parang excerpts from his entry in the book, all right? Yung Alalahanin na book, where he related that Sinta was first thought of to be an adaptation of The Fantastics, di ba? That off-Broadway play. So the first few versions of the songs were really just parang what do you call this, versions of the music from The Fantastics. But later on, Mr. Pagsy, and I guess with a little contribution from the Dulaang Sibol members back then, really made the music more Filipino, and I guess more melodic in that sense, which actually resulted in the Sinta the way it is now, di ba? So very touching. So Ray, can I bring you back in?
Yes.
You are the memory, okay? Because you, as you mentioned, you are batch 1980. Tama po ba,
That's
sir?
right. I graduated high school 80. Yeah.
What was Dulaang Sibol back like in 1980?
Well,
parang kasi
let's
may transition year din yan, di ba? From the 70s, where it was very young, parang towards your batch. Sige nga.
I think balikan natin muna. Actually, pumasok ako ng Sibol 1976, no? And it was it was a fortuitous time. There was a spell kasi naabutan ko, I was one of the last batches at that point in time that was actually accepted as a freshman. So there were 3 of us that were accepted as freshmen back then. Pero ang una kong experience kasi with Sibol was nung nasa grade school ako, nanood kami ng Sibol play. I think 2, no? Ang napanood ko, I think, was Freddy Boy and another play. And what struck me, and naabutan ko yung lumang Sibol Theater, which back then was katabi ng Chem Lab. No?
Right, it was the Chem Lab.
Right. Which then, when Sibol moved to the new theater, became the Glee Club
rehearsal room. Right.
Naabutan ko yung bagong teatro. In fact, we still have photos of, and I still remember people like Dodi Kapawan and Martin Duran literally putting up the lights. No? Kasi at that time, and now fast forward to today, obviously those are pretty scary times because the lighting and the electricals and all of that stuff. But back then you were young and you just wanted to put up lights and you painted the paint cans and that's it. You put up the lights, diba? And then you had a small lighting board and that was it. Before we joined, one of the things that really attracted me to Sibol, and I will confess, at that time I was in 7th grade, I did not even play a single instrument. Right, but I heard Banda sa Dulo. Yeah, Banda sa Dulo was the play together with Freddie Boy. That was Pa El Encarnacion. Freddie Boy, I think, was Enki, the brother. No, Ruben now, no, Dr. Ruben. Both of them, I think, are doctors and everything. And what really struck me was the original music, and it was coinciding with a time wherein Filipino music as a whole was beginning to grow. 76 was the first Metropop. Right. Where Kay Ganda ng Ating Musika won, right? Et cetera. So doon nagsimula, and one of the first things that inspired me to do that first time I ever watched Sibol was to learn how to play the guitar. And again, I never learned formally. I don't read notes. I only read chords. So friends taught me how to play the guitar and the jingle chord book, diba?
Right.
And then fast forward, I think what Mr. Pagsy and what Sibol teaches you is to just give it a shot, diba? Na don't be afraid to try new things. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. And I think I carry that to this day. And so that was it. And we were fortunate that we had all of these amazing musicians, Jimmy Afilenia. We had the batch of Sinakedi Sanchez, who to this day is still the
Ding Ison was around. Yeah, right.
Roda was around. Manolo was around. I mean, just a whole bunch of amazing musicians. And ultimately, in my senior year, comes up Amadaling Francisco comes around, right?
Yes. Wow.
And then there's a Tito Lopez, there's a Jello Favis, there's a Freddy Manapat. I mean, you name it, no? Pero it was a period where I think we were just inspired to do all of these things. And I guess Mr. Pagsy was inspired as well.
And you yourself are an iconic composer, Ray. I mean, I actually caught that tail end of all this creativity that was actually abounding back in the late 70s to the 80s. You actually composed or were instrumental in the music of such plays like Kaharian ng Araw. Mga ganyan,
diba? I was involved with Kaharian, yeah.
Wow. But do you remember, what were your memories of coming up with such a play? Because this is such an iconic play, diba? This was the type of play that would be performed year in and year out, even by the younger Sibolistas that came after us, diba? I can imagine the atmosphere of actually putting together the music, diba, for this play.
Kaharian has a very interesting genesis. Kasi Kaharian was first written by Joel Pagsanghan, son of Mr. Pagsy, who was our classmate in our class, no? And it was entered first, I believe, in 3rd year or 4th year. Palig
siya. It was
so it was
Pandulaan.
It was a class play. If if memory serves me right. For whatever reason, it wasn't ready. It didn't do it. Pero
this was your class. I assume this was
in 4th year. Yeah, in 4th year, Joel moved to another section already. Okay. But again, we had we saw it. Again, it's inspired by one of the books that we were very moved by at that time, which is Hope for the Flowers, right? And the Caterpillar Pillar and all of that stuff, which is why at the end of Kaharian, 'di ba? Parang hungkag, no? There's nothing there.
Right.
And then we just all felt that, you know, it was an amazing story. It was an amazing moment. And so Mr. Pagsy helped revive it in Sibol, and this time around we set it to music. And Mandy Agoncillo, a classmate of mine, who had passed away very early on also, but was an amazing musician and has done a lot also of Sibol stuff. Yun, pinaghati-hatian, di ba? Parang, gawin mo tong kantang to, gawin mo tong kantang to, etc., etc. And those were fast days, di ba? You did Broadway, pare. You take a year, 2 years to actually build the libretto and build the music, di ba? Ito, you take days, no? And or weeks, no? So
gitara lang and kapakapala. What's the right chord after this? Wow.
Maraming nakakatuwang memories dyan kasi doon din nung third year high school ako, doon naman prior to that puro gitara. Ang Sibol, no? Mula banda sa dulo, etc. At ang gagaling na mga gitarista. Nung third year, again, through, I think, paligsahan or sa Bayang Bigkas, yung batch nila Ding Ison, yung 79 batch, yung high school batch, Manny Narciso, who is an amazing musician, 4B, 79, na Glee Club, introduced the use of the piano in Sabayang Bigkas. And that changed and introduced harmonies, and dati basically walang masyadong harmony, napakasimple lang ng mga harmonies, no? Biglang grabe, no? Full, 3-part,
choral
4-part
effect.
harmony, amazing arrangements. And again, at some point, that's when we actually moved the piano from the Glee Club room to Sibol. There was no piano in Sibol at that time. And then afterwards, these classes requested for a piano there for their performances. Yun naman ang genesis nung pagsimula na biglang may piano na sa. And that's where whatever we would call it arreglo started to happen. We would introduce flutes, we would introduce all sorts of stuff. We then had a cello, we had whatever.
Wow. Amazing. Wow, it's this is parang for me, parang the origin story of the Dulaang Sibol that I actually first watched. Kasi ako naman, back in 84, I was an ACT boy ako eh. So parang we would be used to all of these big productions, staged sa Meralco Theater. And then my first Dulaang Sibol play that I watched in grade 7 was Kaharian ng Araw. And that for me, I remember that. I will always forever remember watching Kaharian ng Araw and feeling the magic. For me, it was really magic. Yung talagang it starts off in a complete blackout. And then when the lights come in, nandun na lahat ng mga tao sa stage. I don't know who came up with that concept, but that was just pure magic for me watching a Dulaang Sibol play after experiencing, ACT na everything is sets and minus ones and all that. And this was live music, live singing, young men really just pouring their hearts out on stage. It was really magic. So thank you for sharing with us, Ray.
Very welcome.
At least,
very welcome.
How this all came about. And I think at this time, as we capture the essence of Dulaang Sibol during this time, the 70s and the 80s, which was really a golden age, a golden age of creativity, music, finding the right dynamics for a theater group to become a musical theater group, di ba? Parang if Dulaang Sibol back then evolving from the Ateneo Dramatic Society would do straight plays, I think this was the time when we really found our essence, that we were also a musical theater. We built musical talent. We learned the guitar, the old-fashioned way. Tinuturuan tayo ng fingering, and we would look at chord charts from Jingle Magazine, and then we just, produce pure magic. All right. So the next song number, I will let you introduce this, Ray. Kasi nakakayang i-introduce ang sarili ko. I think this is this is me performing this song. But do let us know.
Yeah, I'll add this. No, I'll add this. I think one of the reasons, marami nang nasabi kung bakit kumakanta ang Sibol. Right? And to your point, whether we were a musical group or whatever, pero the reason why we sing is because there comes a point wherein words alone are not enough to express an emotion, a feeling, a memory, etc., etc. Even the Bible, di ba? The Psalms, di ba? When words are not enough, one sings. And Mr. Pagsy always likes to say that, and that's part of the magic and the value of why people sing and why people make music, etc. I think the second bit is music is so important because it you'll see it in Alalahanin, no, the book, and I'm a big fan of and I wrote part of this, which is really that kasi it transports you. You hear a song, it brings you back to a moment, to a time. Sometimes it refreshes a feeling, a memory. Sometimes even the smells, the sights, the sounds, everything just floods back in. And then for that brief moment, you're literally in a different space and a different time. And it just, and before you know it, it transports you. No, it's one of the few things I think that really transports people. And Mr. Pagsy used to say, diba, diba, how does one live forever? Diba, write a book, plant a tree, or have a family. Diba, Japanese saying. In lieu of writing books, I'm hoping that people like us, Toto, the rest of the team here that write music, in our ways, our contribution that, once upon a time, we did this. People ask me now, do I still compose? And I say, no, I'm decomposing already. But no, but I do still write. Pero there was a moment, that brief moment in time with Sibol wherein it seemed like you could write forever. It seemed that you could just do anything and everything forever. So one of the things that the next number is actually a medley. The first one of the songs there is Sigaw ng Bayan. That was batch 81 high school. No? That's Jolly Makuha and Jerry Duran that wrote that song. And then Alay Buhay, actually ang pinanggalingan nun was our class sa Bayang Bigkas when we were in third year. And the original lyrics were by Soc Rodrigo. It was actually a protest song. Right, Mr. Pagsy liked it and then turned it into a song of dedication to country instead, and a song of love for country. But very few people know that Alay Buhay was the very first song I ever composed on the piano.
Oh wow!
That's why the chords are so basic. And I was still transposing guitar chords to piano chords. As I was learning how to play the piano during recess and lunch in Sibol, and then again jingle chord book and everything. Pero that was the very first song that I wrote on piano. So this is it, and this is Cholo and Lionel Valdelion that are involved with this piece.
All right, this is Sigaw ng Bayan and Alay Buhay. Let's watch it.
Nang tagulan, taglay may dusan, kabiguan, ang gunitana.
Sigaw ng dumaraing, iyon ang masdan at harapin ang mga hiyaw ng inalipin. Naroon sila kaibigan, silang mga piniringan, silang mga ninakawan Nararapat ng matay buksan, imulat na ang kalooban, daing ba nila'y lalayuan, hiyaw ba nila'y tatalikdan. Tanggapin ang katotohanan, hiling nila ngayoy pakinggan, mga nalubog sa putikan, akayin silang binulagan. Kaibigan, bigyan kalayaan, ang tinapos na katarungan.
Siglab ng bisig ko, likha't liksi ng talino ko, pangarapin ng puso ko. Bayan ko, handog sa'yo, umingin ng diwa ko. O Pilipinas, tanggapin mo, alay sa'yo.
Rejoice. JMM Radio. JMM Radio. JMM Radio.
All right, there you go. You just heard Alay Buhay and Sigaw ng Bayan. Tama ba yun? Sigaw ng Bayan. From, of course, these are songs. One of Alay Buhay was composed by Mr. Ray Miranda here. And Sigaw ng Bayan, sino ba nag-compose ito, Ray?
Si Jolly Makuha at si Jerry Duran.
Oh,
Pero
yes,
yung
yes.
sigaw, yung Alay Buhay, kasama ko din yung kaklase ko, si Noel Gamboa, just to make sure that we're crediting the right people.
And this was really a time, I guess, back in the late 70s, 80s, na talagang, you know, with the first quarter storm and everybody was feeling the spirit of nationalism. I guess these were the type of the music that really came out of Dulaang Sibol back then. Were these ever part of any Dulaang Sibol play or?
No, Alay Buhay ultimately became part of Awit ang Sibol. Yung mga basically it's a music showcase.
Right. Awit ng Sibol. Naabutan ko pa yung Awit ng Sibol. We actually tried to do something similar back in the mid-80s. Ayan. And Alay Buhay, I have very vivid memories of the first time I heard and learned Alay Buhay. We were actually cleaning Dulaang Sibol. Nagge-general manualya kami. Naglilinis kami ng Dulaang Sibol. And then our magister, nakalimutan ko na sino yung tumugtog, he played Alay Buhay kasi we had just rehearsed it. He had just taught it to us. So pinlay niya, naglilinis kami lahat and we were all singing while cleaning. So then suddenly the entire theater with these young boys cleaning, we're singing Alay Buhay. It was such a, it's really ingrained in my mind. You know, and then we were singing it with fervor. Talagang talagang feel namin yung lyrics. So thank you for giving us that song, Ray. Hindi ko lang alam, I guess during my time, mid-80s, I'm transitioning to Toto, who will be telling us a little bit about his time naman in the 90s. So Ray, you were there 70s, early 80s. Oh nga pala, I wanted you, since you're in front of a keyboard there, where you are, maybe you can play us a little something. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
Play us a short
let me know if you can. Let me know if you can hear it. This was actually one of my favorite compositions among a number of them. And again, ang maliit na sikreto nito dahil hindi nga ako nagbabasa ng nota, hindi naman ako aral na musikero, nag-eksperimento lang ako. Sabi ko, at pag nagpapiano ko, siguro yung mga musikero dito mas nakaka-relate, mas mahirap pag may black keys. Ganun kasi
really?
lang.
Kasi sharp and flats.
Right, so I avoid, so what I decided to do one day for one of the songs in Kaharian was to just use as many black keys as I could. It was just, it was really that simple. And as a result of that, we came up with this one.
This is Maglakbay.
That's all black keys.
Really? Oh my gosh. I remember learning this on the guitar. Ito yung first ko with mga 9 chords, di ba? Yung mga 9th chords, parang pag tinugtog mo yung 9th chord, ang ganda ng tunog. Parang amazing. Oh, wow. Oh wow, that's a fantastic song. Ayan, and later on we'll be in for a treat kasi may bagong arrangement daw, no, mapapakinggan natin. A new arrangement of Maglakbay later on in the show. Ayan. Ako naman during my time in the late 80s, of course maganda pa rin naman yung music but nothing quite like the music of Kaharian or even Adarna. But during my time may mga ibang songs din naman na of these vignettes, di ba? At that time kasi nauso yung mga vignette one act sort of plays. We did a play called Tino. It was a play that was set in a mental institution, and then there was some good music there. And then back when I was a junior, third year high school, the seniors then produced Runaway Company, and that also I wish pwede ko i-sample pero hindi ko na memorize yung mga songs, diba? Pero there were a couple of good songs in that attempt at a full-length play, So kudos to our seniors back then, sina Mike Reyes. I think Mike Reyes was very instrumental in the music of that play. Ayan. So let me segue to our next guest, Mr. Toto Sorioso. Of course. Hi Toto. One of our more acclaimed Dulaang Sibol alum because he took on music as a full-time career, as a composer and performer, and of course an award-winning composer at that. So, hello Toto.
Hello. Ganda gabi.
In the 90s naman, ayan, magsisegue na ako sa 90s. during your time, alam ko you are also doing, you know, the plays that were the legacy plays, di ba? So plays like Kaharian, Sinta, of course, magkasama tayo sa Sinta. But during your time ba, buhay pa rin ang musika ng Sibol at that time?
During my time, buhay na buhay kasi yung time, yung 90s, yun yung time, yung mga musikero nung time namin. Actually, na-influensya ako si Jimmy Bondok. Yun yung isa mga unang napanood ko na play, yung Karakaibigan. Naalala ko nung first year ko na yun tapos kinanta niya yun parang panimula dun sa play ng Sibol. Yung isa sa isa, pito-pito. Tapos tuwa ako dun sa music na yun. Sobrang kwela ng play. Tapos yun yung isa mga nag-udyok sa akin para sumali ng Sibol. Tapos nung
Jimmy Bondok. Kudos to Jimmy, of course. Sayang din natin siya kasama yun.
Yun yung mga musikero. Yan, si Ali Figueroa, pagdating sa mga choral music, si Baroque Gutierrez, yung mga bukas palad members na ngayon. So, yun yung music noong time namin. Yun yung influences.
And speaking of influences, you carried on to become a professional musician, no? Both composing and performing your own songs. You actually have several albums under your belt and several winning compositions, sa mga songwriting compositions that you joined. No? Of course, what was the influence of Sibol, I guess, in your career as a musician?
Actually, a lot. Kasi sa Sibol, yun nga, literally, di ba, Sibol is sprout, growth. Literally, doon ako talaga nagsimula. Saka doon kumbaga na-plant yung seeds ng somewhat itong vocation ng music sa akin. So, malaking bagay talaga. At doon ako nagsimula magsulat ng songs. Dahil, di ba sa mga plays ng Sibol, yung time namin, may mga song segments, using song segments pag sa dulo ng plays. So, kailangan ng mga kanta na hindi nakakantayin, sasayawin pa. So, yung mga ginagawa kong songs, I remember one summer, third year going fourth year ako, kailangan namin ng mga upbeat songs. So, nagsulat ako ng mga
time na uso na yung mga boy bands and all of that. So I'm sure musbong din ang boy bands sa Dulaang Sibol back in the early 2000s. Okay.
Meron din kami yung batch namin, meron din kami parang chief choreographer, parang gano'n. Na kahit hindi siya formal na position sa Sibol, parang siya yung designated chief choreographer. So siya yung nagko-choreograph ng mga songs na so with matching dance moves yung mga ginagawa namin.
Sige nga, can we hear something? I asked Ray to play a while ago something memorable for him. During your time, can you play us a little something? Alam ko may gitara ka dyan. Play us a little something of a song that you know, when you play it or sing it, it really brings you back to your Dulaang Sibol days. Sige nga.
Ayun, ito sinulat ko 90s siya. So, siguro alam niyo pa na yung time na, di ba yung contemplation, yung OFW na yun yung time na nangyayari yun. So, medyo ko itong song na to. Pero love song talaga siya na medyo cute. So, baka yung ibang Sibolista na maalala nila. Pamagat na to, Sweetheart Tweetums. So, I'll sing ng chorus.
Sweetheart Tweetums. First time ko ata maririnig to. Sige nga. Ayan, na-excite si Dino Santos. Okay, game.
Kaya ito yung mga ginagamit namin sa mga song segment dati. Umaga ko'y parang walang araw pag di ako nasisinagan ng ngiti. Kung di ko na makita ang iyong mukha, mabuti pa'y sa Singapore magdigdi. Sweetheart, tweetums, alam mo namang kotse ko'y siyam-siyam. Ako'y simple lang, ngunit pag-ibig ko sa'yo ay walang hanggan.
Nice, very good, very nice, Toto. First time ko narinig yun, ha? Imagine, inspired yan ni Flor Contemplation story.
Medyo may social relevance ng konti.
Talaga? Oh, wow.
Pero,
That has to be recorded. Hindi ko pa yan naririnig. That has to be recorded in full. So, take note, Ali Figueroa. Kailangan natin i-record yung kantang yan. Sweetheart, Tweetums. Ayan. And siguro, I also want to get Ray into this kasi itong the way you play the guitar, itong mga riffs mo, and we never used to play like that in Sibol. Di ba, Ray? Nung time natin, talagang kaskas lang talaga ng chords. The way Toto plays now?
Yeah, there's something very unique. There's something very 90s, diba? Kasi
yes, yeah.
There's always a vibe naman that goes with each generation, each decade, right. Which makes it unique, which makes it special, diba? And I think, but having said that though, anybody that's been to Sibol will also, yung pinaka-ugat niya, yung pinaka spine niya, kumbaga, there's something,
the Sibol sound.
There's something also that brings you back, no? That ties you back to those roots. So, galing, Toto.
Right.
Believe.
All right.
So, yung mention,
yes.
mention, dati naalala ko, si Mr. Pragsy, laging sinasabi sa amin, bago, as a reminder, bago mag-compose, yung make melody Father Manuling. Kaya yun yung isang something simple and melody that's may hook na malakas. So, I guess I owe it all to that principle na tinuro sa Sibol.
Galing, Mr. Pagsy talaga. We learned so much from him. And in the same way that the music in Sibol evolved, I guess even the musicality of people evolved, diba? So from very simple songs, 3 chords, make a really nice song, pero during your time it really brought Dulaang Sibol to a whole new level, no, in terms of not just the music but even the production. So you carried this on with you, as you mentioned, Toto, and you actually went on to become a very much recognized composer. This next song that we will play in full is your composition, which you entered in a songwriting contest and it won. Tama ba? Maybe you can tell us a little bit of the Phil Pop. Okay, sige nga, ikwento mo nga sa amin yung how you came up with this award-winning song called Awit Mo'y Nandito Pa. Ano bang roots nito?
Well, I guess subconsciously, ang roots talaga niya is yung environment kung saan ako lumaki, which is the Sibol music at saka yung choral community ng Bukas Palad, Hangad. Kasi I grew up in that, and I guess this song was influenced a lot. Pati yung chord progression, pati yung melody, malaking talaga influence yung Sibol, pati yung concepts ng song. Tsaka ko na lang na-realize na very yung mga naririnig kong principles at saka na tinuturo ni Sir lumabas sa lyrics natin. So, yun.
And who originally performed this song when you entered it in Philpop?
It was sung by duo sila, si Aldrich and James Talunding. Mga taga Bisaya, taga Mindanao.
Nice. All right. And as much inspired as that original version was, this version that we will hear now is a rendition of Dulaang Sibol. Okay, so please introduce this next number, Toto.
Then, this is a song called Awit Mo'y Nandito Pa, and as performed by Dulaang Sibol, choral arrangement.
Right. Let's hear it.
JMM Radio.
Ika'y tanong ng totoo. Ika'y talunan.
Ang Awit Mo'y Nandito Pa ay isang pag-alaala at magbibigay buhay sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Para to sa ating mga kaibigan, para to sa ating mga klase, para to sa ating mga guro, para to sa ating pamilya, at higit sa lahat, para po to sa ating mahal na Panginoon. Sila na bumabay at umubog at unang nagmahal para sa atin. Sa mundo nating mabagsik at mapanlinlang, sa mundo nating maingay at nakakasilaw, hindi maiwasang minsan tayo'y maligaw, di ba? Ngunit sa bighati at kahinaan, dulot ng mga nawasak nating mga pangarap, ating muling naririnig ang isang tinig na tahimik, ngunit nananalig. Isang tinig ng pagmamahal na pumutusok sa ating magpatuloy. Magpatuloy sa gitna ng kawalan kung saan ating din muling natatagpuan at namamalas sa kapangyarihan nitong tinig. Isang tinig ng pagmamahal. Magpatuloy at manalig dahil alam kong awit mo ay nandito pa. Ito po ang Dulaang Sibol.
JMM Radio. JMM Radio.
Kampiyon ka na naman.
All right, there you go. You just heard the live version. I wasn't expecting that it was going to be a live theatrical version of Toto Seryoso's winning composition, Awit Mo'y Nandito Pa. Ayan, and maybe let's bring back in Toto. Ayan. Okay ba? Good memories. So this actually became an anthem for Sibol several batches after when you introduced the song to them. Alam ko parang they would sing it quite often.
I think sa Kaharian ng Araw, may segment after ng Kaharian ng Araw. They would play it after.
Wow.
They
Talaga
revive
naging...
Kaharian ng Araw.
All right. Parang you did mention that I guess the inspiration for the song is really your own musical experience back in Sibol. But is it also something that I guess you would find relevant for parang other experiences in your life, particularly ano tawag dito, parang your own philosophy as a musician, kasi ang ganda ng lyrics ang ganda ng message ng lyrics. So
Actually,
it sort of lives on after Sibol, tama ba?
This song kasi it was the longest, probably one of the longest song I've written, kasi nagsimula siya with a melody, tapos for a time iniwan ko lang yung melody, tapos nagkaroon ako ng self-doubts sa sarili ko na kaya ko pa ba magsulat ng kanta. Tapos I had the urge, after several years nakapagsulat uli ako and this song came about. So in a way, medyo parang saving grace ko rin tong song na to, kasi nung akala kong tapos na ako, ayoko na mag-music or gusto ko na mag-give up, biglang dumating tong song na to na totoo nga, may awit mo'y nandito pa. So medyo ganun yung kwento rin ng song na to, kaya medyo special din siya sa akin in a way. Tapos yun nga, looking back, yung mga nasulat kong lyrics, yung lyrics ng song na to very much influenced by my Sibol experience. And nakakatuwa, yung mga Sibolista na kabatch ko or mga kaibigan, nakaka-relate sila dun sa song, I guess. Kasi yung very Sibol yung message.
Yeah, and thank you for letting me sing backup on it. Ito ba yung ni-record natin na nag-backup ako?
Oo,
thank you. That was such an honor.
Ang daming hinatak na from bukas pala
the original recording
para kumanta dito. So thank you for being part of it. Isang karangalan din na sumama.
Alright. Ayan, sige Toto, let's introduce now the next segment of our show for tonight. Let us bring in a younger group of Sibol musicians. Some of them just very recent graduates of Dulaang Sibol. So let's bring in Raf Bernardino, who graduated in 2019. Hi Raf, he is a composer and also of course a performer, quickly making a name for himself. Really? Are you going to follow in Toto Seryoso's footsteps? Talagang career talaga ang music for you, Raf? Tama ba?
Hindi naman po career, parang pero let's see where the wind flows po.
Very nice, very nice. So you are joined by somebody who was still very much into music, but he pursued a career as a doctor, specifically as an ophthalmologist. He is an ophthalmologist by trade. So let's bring in Dr. Dino Santos. Hi, Dr. Santos.
Hello.
Si Dino. Hi, Dino. All right, and let's also bring in one of my a person who's very close to my heart because she played Sinta to my Matang Lawin way back in the early 2000s. So this is Mitzi Lau, who is now a music teacher and a theater artist. Wow, talaga, pinursu mo ang theater. Hi, Mitzi.
Hello, good evening again.
All right. So kayo na, you are the young crop of Dulaang Sibol alum. Okay, so you are all out of Dulaang Sibol already, but you somehow represent, I guess, the new breed of Dulaang Sibol musicians. I'm actually very excited to hear the music that came out, I guess, during your time. So ikaw, Raf, You started Sibol when? 2016, 2015?
I started 2015. 2015 to
Alright.
2016.
And what
Mga 5 years
were
ago na po.
what was the kind of music, I guess, that came out of your your age group? Hindi pa naman ata tayo nalalayo. Well, actually, malayo na pala tayo. Pero kayo ni Toto, parang medyo nagkatawiran pa kayo ng generations. What were your influences as a composer when you were in Sibol?
Kasi when I was in Sibol, there weren't really that much original music going on. So, nung pumasok ko nung 2015, yung origs na ginawa nila nun, there were 3 plays. So, wala silang original songs. Tapos, binalik lang nung 2019, nung batch namin. So, kami yata yung first in a really, really long time na naglabas ng original music. So, as for my influences po, as in,
yes,
when I was writing my own songs in my Sibol stay, parang nasa OPM addiction phase ako noon. So, nakikinig ako sa maraming Ben and Ben. I was also listening to a bit of Sir Toto. Sina Jonoy Danao, Ebe Dancel, Sugar Free. Marami po yun.
Oh, wow.
Halo-halo po.
Ayan. And si Mitzi naman. Sige, unahin natin si Mitzi. Kasi si Mitzi, you came in around 2008, as you mentioned. And back then, were you already, I'm pretty sure when you auditioned for Sinta, you did audition, right? Or were you handpicked?
Yes, I did. No, I auditioned.
Oo, because you had large shoes to fill. Kasi I think before you, ang Sinta was si Maita Ponce, who also went on to professional theater after her stint as Sinta, di ba? So you came in, you auditioned for Sinta, and very lucky for us that we got you. And can you tell us your Dulaang Sibol story?
Okay. So my Dulaang Sibol story. So I became Sinta. Before me was actually Polina Miranda.
Right.
And then I was able to also watch Ate Maita Ponce and
si Crisel
Paula Dale? Crisel.
Si Paula. Right.
Ate Crisel, Ate Paula Dale. So actually my Dulaang Sibol story, I think, started very young, I guess. I was also part of ACT when I was in grade 5. Nice. So yung mga kabatch ko sa ACT na nag-Dulaang Sibol, they would really invite me to Sinta. So even knowing na nandun sila, I don't know why, I had some friends before in Miriam that would invite me to watch Sinta. Pag December runs or February runs. And it became a yearly thing with my best friend in grade school. And then I remember once, the first time I watched Sinta, sabi ko, ay, grabe, ang ganda. Sabi ko, parang kasi back then, I really didn't know that, parang may passion pala talaga ako sa theater. I thought it was only once. It was just only once in ACT. But then, mas na-relive pa sa heart na, ay, gusto ko umarte, gusto ko sa entablado. And hindi lang yon. It's not just because of my passion to perform, but the heart of the story is really what captured me. Because I always prayed to the Lord, if you're gonna make me a part of a musical show or something, I want you to be in it. And that's what I saw. Wow. And that's what I saw in Sibol. And I will always tell the boys that Sibol was really an answered prayer to me. Because I remember my batchmate in ACT, Chino Aralio, invited me. Right. Sabi niya, uy, may audition ng Sinta, ganyan, may audition ng Sinta. Sabi ko, shocks, baka ito na yun. Because I remember sitting sa Sibol, watching Sinta. I think that was Ate Maita Ponce's, sobrang in awe lang ako every time that she's playing. And I was saying na, Lord, parang ang saya i-wear nung pink dress. Ang saya sabihin ng mga linya niya. And then I said, if I will be granted that opportunity, I will take it. So when Chino Aralio messaged me that there is going to be an audition, sabi ko, ay, pupunta ako. And then, I really didn't know what I was going into, but I knew that my heart was there, and I knew that the Lord was calling me. It might sound weird that I speak na I know that the Lord was calling me there, but I really believed in my heart that was the Lord pushing me, parang go to the audition. So that yun yung naging simula ng Sibol story ko. So I auditioned, And the rest was history. I think 11 years of playing Sinta.
Wow, ha? Wow. Tagal mo rin pala na naging Sinta. And that was really grace, not just for you, but also for us. Ayan, may isa nga nag-comment dito na Sibulisa. Style talaga ng Sibol yan. Na at that time kasi when you came in as Sinta, very few lang yung mga ladies who actually encountered who were part of Dulaang Sibol as a full member. No? So of course the very short list of ladies who portrayed Sinta. Ayan. So of course, every time there is a new Sinta, na-excite yung mga boys. Ayan, style Sibol yan. Imbitahin namin yung mga magagandang girls from Miriam to audition for Sinta. And it's really quite a treat for us also. So we were so lucky that you got the role and you stayed with Dulaang Sibol for 11 years. So that must have made quite an impression on you. I guess did your foundation in Sibol influence you in eventually pursuing music as your formal studies? You became a music major in college, and eventually you are now a music teacher. Wow! Tell us about that. How did you transition from theater to becoming a professional music coach?
So it started at ACT, and then Dulaang Sibol was really one of the bulk of my experiences as a theater artist right now, and that's really thanks to Sibol and Mr. Pagsy. I would always remember Mr. Pagsy telling me that, my daughter, you'll go far, you'll go places, but I will always remember Sir Pagsy always tell me, wag mo kaming iiwan. So,
ikaw na. Ayaw niyang pakawalan. Kami 4 years lang kami sa Sibol. Ikaw 11 years. All right.
So I would like to say that I'm really, really blessed. I mean, when you tell me that the men were blessed that I'm part of Sinta, no, I'm the one who was also blessed by each and every one that I met in Sibol. Because what I saw in Sibol, yung passion nila for music, how they do, how they really have this heart for the art. Yun yung sumiklab, mas nagpasiklab lalo ng heart ko to go into music, because I was really in denial that I really wanted to do music. Because, grade school, I was part of the Glee Club, high school Glee Club, I had Dulaang Sibol in high school. And I said, college, gusto ko naman to venture to something, why not com arts? Or even, I delved into, gusto ko atang mag physical therapy, parang ganyan. And then, wala parang
si
the
Dr.
Lord brought me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or SPED. I was actually thinking about SPED as well. But then when I auditioned for music, pagkatapos audition ko, umiyak ako. Sabi ko, talagang for music ako or for performing ako. And talagang naging inspiration, all the Sibolistas, because alam mo yun yung nakita ko. What's so different is that I am a major in music, but there are some things that I can't do as these men are doing. I mean, I am not gifted in making my own music. I am not gifted in writing my own or even making my own harmonies. But these men, whenever I am in Sibol, I feel like I'm such a privileged audience na nasa VIP when they are there performing or when they are just rehearsing. So I'm really privileged kasi I'm inspired by their heart. That's what makes them so distinct, is that their heart, that not all of them know the notes, not all of them know the theory, with some music, but then when they come up all together, tas nagbuo, parang ako, ang sarap tumira dito sa Sibol, and I already got that yung every after rehearsal, parang you would stay an hour later or 2 hours later kasi wala nandun yung passion ng everyone to just really perform and make music, and the friendship that was there. And my parents were always feeling safe when I'm in Sibol, being the only girl there. They never doubted that I am safe. And that's what I treasure the most, because I found family in Sibol.
Wow, well put. Thank you so much, Mitzi. Ayan. And you actually collaborated with Dino here. All right, let's talk about Dino Santos here. Dr. Dino Santos, I should say. You chose a very different path after Dulaang Sibol, after all the music that you created. And were you actually as prolific in Sibol while you were a member, Dino? What year did you enter?
I entered Sibol 04, graduated 07. back then, I guess pretty similar to Raf. Siguro we weren't really into original songs. At that point kasi we already had a rich repertoire of original Sibol songs. We didn't feel like we had to produce any new stuff. Siguro back in our day, sa amin kasi we did the 06 production of Adarna. So that had that big libretto of original songs also that they made for that run of Adarna. So actually dun na-instill din yung rigor, also a little bit actually of theory. Dun na-instill yung discipline of theory into Sibol. Aside from the typical love for music din talaga. And then actually yung digression ko sa musical path at the very least was that whereas these guys or the other guys so far have gone into the more choral path or the more hangad, beaty path, ako I went more into the band side of music. So actually a bunch of us Sibolistas started out a jazz band while we were in Sibol.
Wow!
Jazz talaga.
Jazz, ha?
Cool na cool eh. Jazz, wow. But yeah, we played practically all through college and a little bit of when I was already into med school. So yun yung parang trajectory ko as a musician. And then parang everything that I learned as a musician, I could attribute to my upbringing in Sibol talaga. And I'd like to also mention si Mitzi was also my sinta when I was mang-anding. So
husay.
Close din kami niya ni Mitzi. Ang tawag niya sa akin tatay.
Daddy.
Talaga mag-ama pala kayo sa sinta.
Yes.
That's so cool. And you actually collaborated on some music. Your work, Dino, has gone viral recently. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Ano tong nag-viral na work mo?
There was this kasi 'di ba nag-lockdown, nag-quarantine and everything.
Okay.
As an ophthalmologist, it's not really as super essential. I mean, magpapatingin ka ba ng sore eyes kung may COVID outbreak? Diba? So, a lot of the times you weren't holding clinic. So I was actually here in my condo and medyo nababato na rin ako. I delved into my music all the time. One of the things that unexpectedly went super viral, I made this, parang wala lang. You know that scene in Nacho Libre, yung kakanta siya ng Encarnacion, tapos nakahubad lang si Jack.
Encarnacion!
Yun, exactly.
Love that movie.
What I did was I added background music to it. So I added a whole, what do you call this? Backing track, may guitar, may keyboards, may drum and
what
bass.
we're seeing now, all right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that one. And then it went super,
wow.
Nag-blow up siya unexpectedly. So
I have to check this out. So you made a version of Encarnacion from Nacho Libre. Okay, let's check that out.
Ayan yung itsura ko. Mukhang
Very nice. All right. So, pero going back to, I guess your mixed career as both a doctor and a musician, an aspiring musician. Is it something that you feel you can balance? Kasi parang I've heard, I just recently became a fan of you when I heard that song Ambon, which you and Mitzi collaborated on. Sana nga mapatugtog natin Let's but please, if you guys haven't heard it yet, you can search it up on YouTube, Ambon by Dino Santos and Mitzi Lau. It's also on Spotify. All right, so if we have time later, maybe we can play it. But ayun, hopefully this is something that you can, balance. You think, Dino?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, one of the things that I like about ophthalmology so much is that it's not so toxic.
All right.
I mean, I don't get called in the middle of a night due to an eye emergency. Diba? So I guess it's great that I am able to put this passion of mine, that I'm still able to create music, even if I'm also following this other calling that I'm into. I mean, both things are very important to me. And yun yung sabi naman nila talaga, if you really want to do it, there's a way to do it naman.
Very good. All right. So let's hear the music from this crop of Dulaang Sibol members. Our next two songs, we are going to watch Raph do his thing live. All right. Can you describe this next song that we're going to watch of you, Raph? This is you in the UP Sunken Garden. Anong konteksto nito? What was happening?
So what was happening there is may kilalang busker na si Martin Riggs. Tapos may mga ginagawa siyang street gigs doon. So nandun siya sa Pinoval, sa Lawton, tapos sa UP Sunken Garden. He goes all around Metro Manila. And sakto, before classes started that year, nandun siya sa UP Sunken Garden. So pumunta lang ako doon, and sakto, that was my first gig outside of Sibol. So parang pampa-confidence booster nga din. So the song I played there was Akong Bahala Sa'yo. It was an original song na my batch did nung the Origs, or as we now call it, Katha of that year.
Yeah.
So it was I composed it, pero I'm not the one who wrote the lyrics. The lyrics were written by Django Alagar, my batchmate. And it's a funny story how this song actually came to be. It was a Wednesday morning. He was in the, I think, Costco Chapel, and he was just writing down the lyrics. And then when we had Sibol that day, he asked me and a couple of my other batchmates, si Diego at si Dano. Tapos, hey, you wanna put music to this lyrics that I just wrote? And I was like, sure, sige. So we were composing it for like 1 hour, like before the Sibol session started, and we recorded it and we showed it to Sir Nico, and the rest is history. And now it's on Spotify.
Let's listen to it. So we're going to listen to Akong Bahala Sa'yo by Raph Bernardino, busking in the UP Sunken Garden. And right after that, we will be listening to a new version of the song which Ray played for us a while back. So this is Maglakbay from the play Sa Kaharian ng Araw. This is the version of Doc Dino Santos. Okay, so let's listen to these songs right here on JMM Takeover featuring Dulaang Sibol. Here we go.
Hi.
Tabayan nyo na to, hindi ko sinisikat. Sinisikat yung stop na yan.
Ano mapapatungan nito?
Malamang tiyak sa mundo, walang maipapangako sa'yo. Ang tanging di magbabago, ang pag-ibig ko sa'yo. Mawalan ka man ng lakas, sumandal ka sa aking balikan, at mamahalin kita sa sandaling kapos ka na. Ako ang bahala sa iyo, kaibigan ko. Sabay nating salubungin ang agos ng buhay. Mahal, wag kang bibitiw, hindi kita lilimutin. Huwag kang matakot lumingon, ngingitian kita. Maligaw ka man sa daan, palagi kang may babalikan. At mamahalin kita sa sandaling tapos ka na. Akong bahala sa iyo, kaibigan, mamahalin kita sa sandaling tapos ka na. Akong bahala sa iyo, kaibigan ko. At mamahalin kita sa sandali kapos ka na. Akong bahala sa iyo, kaibigan, mamahalin kita sa sandaling kapos ka na. Akong bahala sa iyo, kaibigan ko. Kaibigan ko. Thank you. Wow.
You have just heard a song from the Jesuit Music Ministry. Follow JustCom PH on Spotify and JustCom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Gising sa paghimlay.
Welcome back to JMM Radio, and this is the JMM Takeover of Dulaang Sibol. Yes, thank you for letting us take over JMM for tonight. And you just heard two great songs, Akong Bahala Sa'yo by Raf Bernardino right here, and a beautiful version of Maglakbay by Mr. Dino Santos. What can you say about that? Let's ask the opinion of the composer of that song, Maglakbay. What can you say about that, Ray?
Dino, napakagaling. Nakakatuwa talaga how people hear the song, diba? How they've nothing more inspiring than hearing something that you came up with 30 years ago, older than you, I think.
Much.
Diba? So, inaamin ko naman yun. Pero nakakataba ng puso. Thank you. Galing.
Very nice. Anong inspiration mo doon sa arrangement na yun, Dino? That sounded quite unique for me. Akala ko nung una, I was expecting a rock version coming from a band person like you, pero this was very different. What was your influence in making that arrangement?
That arrangement was very emotionally driven. That was in the context of fellow Sibolista batch 06 having heard the news earlier this year that he had passed away in an accident. So I was deeply affected by that. And like you were mentioning earlier, when the heart is full, the only language is song. Diba?
Nice.
So yun yung outlet ko. So I made that arrangement.
Very nice. That's a gift. Thank you, Dino. I just want to acknowledge some people who are tuned in to us right now. Thank you so much to, of course, Mr. Les Mendiola for letting us take over JMM Radio for tonight. Siya ang regular host ng JMM Radio. Also, hi to my good friend from ASPAC, Mr. Andrew Puan. And who else is here? Jason Villaroman, fellow Sibolista, also tuned in. Hi to John Racho, Leandro Guarino. Ayan, ito yung mga fans ng mga ladies who will be joining us in our next segment. And of course, Father Nono Alfonso, thank you for tuning in to us tonight. All right, this is Dulaang Sibol taking over JMM Radio. And let's move on to our next stage wherein, as you can see, we have some very young, beautiful faces joining us. Back in 2016, Dulaang Sibol opened up its hallowed halls to women, all right, to ladies. Kasi nga, that was the time that the Ateneo Senior High School started to accept its first batch of lady students, all right? So 2016 was quite an auspicious time to be in the Ateneo Senior High School, and of course for Dulaang Sibol to have made that decision to allow ladies to to join the group in an official function, not like Mitzi here who came in auditioning talaga as for a role, a singular female role in Dulaang Sibol. So Mitzi, please do the honors in reintroducing, I guess, our young ladies here, and also allowing them to share their experiences as lady members of Dulaang Sibol. Is there how are you referred to? Sige, Mitzi, go ahead. Please carry this conversation for us.
Okay. All right. Good evening, ladies. So here with us tonight is Jana, Camilla, Mayumi. Who else do we have? Am I missing on someone? We have Jade. We have Anna. Am I right? Did I get that right? Okay, so how are you, ladies? So, because I experienced Sibol na talagang mag-isa lang ako or my counterpart as Sinta. But how is it like for you? How is it like for you to really go to this organization of puro men and you share the same passion for the arts? How is it like? Sige, maybe you can start with Jana.
So hello, I'm Yana. We've actually been so lucky as to be given this opportunity to be part of this organization that for so long has been male dominated. And one of my, Jade will mention later how we were thinking that there would be a distinction or like inequality within the group because we are the minority. But we've been so lucky as to have been introduced to this group that's been so welcoming. and that has been such a breath of fresh air, especially in a school that's mostly men.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh my God, Jana, I just suddenly realized your dad is Eric Lirios. Eric Lirios is my junior in Dulaang Sibol, one batch lower than me. Batchmate ko, ay hindi ko batchmate, busmate ko ang tatay mo back in grade school and high school. So, he's tuned in right now. Hi to Eric, and hello din sa yung mom who's also tuned in, Yana. Wow, meron pala tayong common history together. All right. As you were saying, sige Mitzi, go ahead.
Yes, that's right, Yana. I mean, the breath of fresh air na, like you don't feel na I'm left out because of we are like the minority, yung women. But then it is such a safe place, as I was saying a while ago. It is always a safe place in Sibol. How about the rest of you? How's your experience with Sibol? Like, did you have the same sentiments as Yana had when she first joined? And if I may ask, what made you join Sibol? What made you join Sibol? Jade, Yumi, who wants to go next?
I joined Sibol because I was a Sibol Lisa's scholar. So before I watch a Sibol production, I was familiar with Sibol na po. That's why I joined Sibol. That's all.
It's nice. It's good to hear, Anna. And Jade, how is it like to be in Sibol?
For me, it was my friend literally pulled me to audition, like physically pulled me to Sibol. Yeah, he pulled me to the booth and then he said, "Sign your name," and he gave me a pen and then I just signed while he was holding my hand. And then what really actually pulled me was when we were in the theater and they were telling us all the history of Sibol, and I didn't even know what Sibol was before then, but when they were telling us how difficult it would be and then how different it would be, how sweaty it would be in the theater, I was so intrigued and pulled into Sibol by that. And for me, what's interesting is that I felt as if there was a camaraderie between the girls of Sibol past and present, because when we came into Sibol, they wanted us to feel comfortable, and to the point that they gave us a talk that would tell us like, this is Sibol is a very old org, and it hasn't always had women in the same capacity as you guys are now in, but we want you to feel comfortable, so here was our experience. And so there was kind of this kinship between Sibol women of all times, and I really appreciated that, because Sibol never made me feel as if I was an outsider. I was always part of the family, even as a woman. Yeah.
And Ate Mitzi,
that's
if you would
very
allow
nice,
me,
Jade. Yes.
I would actually like to
Sure.
introduce one of my batchmates, Camila. She's actually one of the first female writers and directors of Dulaang Sibol. One of the first.
Wow.
Ayan po. Hello po. Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Ayan. Very lucky po ako na nakuha ko tong opportunity na to. And it was during Katha, yung ano po namin na play, yung recent online play namin. And at first it was really scary, but exciting at the same time kasi it's a lot of firsts. First time na mag-online ng Sibol, and one of the first times na may magsusulat na girl na writer and director, and pati yung lead si Mayumi, she was my lead actress sa play ko. But it was a lot of fun. Hindi siya gano'n nakaka-pressure kasi it wasn't I wasn't writing for me to prove myself sa Sibol na parang kailangan may mapatunayan kaming mga babae dito sa hindi siya ganon. Kasi accepted na kami sa Sibol ever since. And kaya yung environment yung working environment, yung creative environment, very helpful siya sa amin. It was more of representation lang for the girls na hindi namin kailangan patunayan na kasi tanggap kami ng mga batchmates namin ng Sibol. Yes, yun.
That's right, Camila, and I'm pretty sure that I also had that same experience. You're finding your way, yung artistry mo. I mean, while playing Sinta over the years, I had a lot of mistakes as well, and I was a work in progress. And that's what I loved also about Sibol, is that yes, you're a work in progress, but then they will never, they will never demean you. And the men are there to actually uplift you na, okay, maybe this is what we can work on. Alam mo yun, it's really such a safe place na for you to create. And, everything's talagang welcome. It's an open book that, come on, this is a safe place. Go on, perform what you can, write what you can, make music that's from your heart, and then let's work together. And that's the thing na talagang na-enjoy ko. And I'm happy to hear from you guys that you're also enjoying that. So really, thank you so much for sharing. How about Mayumi? I haven't heard from Mayumi.
Hello po. Actually, I share the same sentiments with my fellow female Sibolistas. Joining Sibol, I really didn't feel any sense of discrimination with the boys. In fact, they were so welcoming, and a lot of my close friends po in Sibol are male. Tapos actually funny story, minsan nakakalimutan nga nila na I'm a girl and they treat me as one of the boys. Naalala ko yung isa sinuntok ako dito, but it's all good. It's just their way of showing affection. And I just want to say din po that I love the sense of camaraderie between the women because we really take care of each other. Our female seniors, talagang they had po a girls talk with us, and we have our own GC, and then we discuss our own matters there. And I just love po the community in Sibol. Shout out din po pala kay Ate Missy for being that representative po ng
the great Missy Maramara.
Yun po, it really is a privilege to be part of this organization.
Oh, that's great to hear, Mayumi. And yes, to Ate Missy, I look up to Ate Missy Maramara also. So now, ladies, I know that there are like some challenges as well now that we are going online with the pandemic going on. But what is next for Dulaang Sibol? Now that there's a pandemic, I mean, I'm pretty sure there were like barricades to create. Like, how is it now for Sibol? What drives you to create now in this pandemic?
Right now, actually, we're taking a break, especially after Katha, because that was a month-long process. So now we're taking a break and really working on the community. But actually, this coming October, we will have Ale kay Maria pa rin, which we usually have in September, but due to the pandemic, it's been pushed back. So, yes.
Maybe just going back to Katha, because I caught a little bit of that. That was something you did completely online, tama ba yun? And these were plays, these were songs. Is it something that we can still view at this time or watch? Where can we watch
yes, actually po.
These plays?
It's on our YouTube page, the Dulaang Sibol YouTube channel. It's all there. All of the songs and the plays are there.
And these are all original plays. I think I don't know if it was you, Mayumi, that I saw. Parang there was like a one woman. Meron bang ganong play na parang isang woman lang na carrying the entire play? Meron bang ganon?
Yes po.
Yeah.
That was Peace.
Was that you?
Po. I was the lead. Si Camila po yung writer nung play.
That was amazing.
And
nice.
po, what I love po about Pisanet was Camila allowed us to help her, and there was a lot of room for creative freedom because since it was an online setting and medyo limited po yung background, we had to appropriate everything so that it would fit the storyline more.
And very intense acting. That was great. Pisonet, I should watch that again. All right. And I guess this is really a new age, no? Para for us old timers, di ba? I'm just glad that Sibol still keeps growing because that's really what we're all about, di ba? That's our name, Sibol. Parang there always has to be growth. We always have to somehow change and evolve. Ika nga sa Sinta, di ba? The perennial line that says na, di ba? Ano yun? yung binhi, kailangan matabunan mo na siya, mamatay, at umusbong ng bago. This is really a new age for Dulaang Sibol. It's a very exciting time to be a Dulaang Sibol member because you will definitely bring new life, new creativity to the group. And I'm so glad that, I think the good news is that Sibol is under new management. I guess that's good news. In a way na, of course, we retain the legacy that has been. Of course, the lessons of Mr. Paxi will live long after, and it lives in our hearts. Kaya mabuti na lang din na preserve the lessons of Sibol, the music of Dulaang Sibol, and I hope there will be more music that will be recorded. So shout out kay Senen Antonio and Ali Figueroa, who's lurking in the background. Sana there will be new projects to record new Dulaang Sibol music, because we really need to preserve this. No, it will really capture not just our own personal memories of Dulaang Sibol, but really our collective memories of how we grow as a group and as a community. So how do you think, how will you carry this? I'm just asking this to the young ladies here. Yana, Camila, Mayumi, and what is your vision for Dulaang Sibol moving forward? And take note, you are also speaking for the boys. Where do you want to see, or where do you see Dulaang Sibol in the next few years? What legacy would you want to leave? Hirap ba nung tanong?
For us, I think for what legacy we want to leave, we just want to make sure that even through, no matter what times, no matter how the world changes, Sibol will still have a place in that world. And even if that place is ever evolving and ever changing, we still want to make sure that the lessons that Sir Pagsi has left us is still there. And because his lessons are timeless, essentially, and you don't need to be young or old, or no matter how much the world changes, what Sir Pagsi has left us is something that's always going to be valuable. And as we are in this very trying time, we're still keeping those lessons close to us so that we can really grow and evolve forward, no matter the time. Yeah.
Very well said. Thank you. Anybody else? Who's the spokesman of this batch, of your batch? Spokeswoman, kung meron man.
Actually, the current spokesman is our batchmate, Paulo Acevedo, who's actually the son of Jim Acevedo.
My classmate, yeah.
Oh, and
the son
Pia.
of my classmate,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, si Jim. All right. Wow. Talagang there are still connections, no? Buti na lang, Ray, parang we planted good seed talaga, no?
No, well, here's the thing,
children.
no. I'll take this opportunity kasi looking at this screen, effectively this is 5 decades.
5 generations
of Sibol, diba? Somebody like me that joined in 70s, folks that joined in the 80s, the 90s, diba? 2000s, and then afterwards the 2010s, diba? This is amazing. It's 5 generations, diba? Pero pag pinag-isipan natin, tinignan natin tong 5 decades na to, and when you think about that, that's a lot, right? That's 5 decades. That's half a century.
It's a lifetime, right?
Pero, diba, if there's anything that all of us have learned in Sibol, it's roots and wings, diba? Pakpak at ugat, diba? And at some point, some of those roots that were sown way back in periods even before my time continue to bear fruit. And while all of those things are going on, it also allows us to, and for me, tuwan-tuwa ako dun sa areglo ni Dino, dun sa Maglakbay. Kasi ginawa ko yun, I was in 4th year. Right? And then fast forward nga, 40 years, effectively close to 40 years or 30 years later, diba? How that lives, pero in a new form. Diba? And yet the essence is still there, diba? It's and that's what music is about. That's what life is about. How people will tell stories down the road, how people will sing your songs and reinterpret your songs. Senen Antonio, who's listening, is an amazing. So at some point, Toto's classic songs are going to be interpreted and reinterpreted, and that's the beauty of music, diba? Because it lives and breathes, diba? Plays get told and retold in new ways, diba? It's the circle of life, and that's the beauty of seeing 5 decades in this screen, and may the music live on.
Nice. All right. And it's really something to look forward to. I think we've talked about legacy, we've talked about growth, and we look forward to the future. Parang I think Dulaang Sibol will always be relevant, will always be engaging to young people. Kasi it's really the lifeblood there. There always has to be youth to carry out the values and the message of Dulaang Sibol, the stories of Dulaang Sibol. So I look forward to the future. This is a good note to end on. Maybe at this point, I'd like to bring in Ali also. Ali, can you turn on your camera and your microphone? Because if there's anybody who's carried the story of Dulaang Sibol, it has to be Mr. Ali Figueroa. Ali, what is there to look forward to? You are one of the new moderators. I was telling our viewers that Dulaang Sibol is under new management, and that is currently the junior high Dulaang Sibol is moderated by Miss Missy Maramara, the legendary Missy Maramara, and senior high Dulaang Sibol is moderated now by Mr. Gian Abraham. Tama ba? And what is your role, Ali, in this entire new structure of Dulaang Sibol?
Well, on paper, no, I'm the auditor, which was the job that Henry Totanes held for a long time. No?
So you are the treasurer.
Well, auditor, parang treasurer, but I think what it really means is somebody who's mindful of how Sibol acquires and uses its talent, its resources, who makes sure that there's a continuity in a sense. No? And di ba nga, even among the alumni, parang I'm just shocked na suddenly ako pala yung may alam. But that's the gift of being born in the of being Sibol in the 90s. I'm right in the middle of that 50 years. So, what's there to look forward to? Well, we're still selling
Yes, get us excited.
We're still selling the book, now available on Shopee and Lazada. Shameless plug.
Yes.
We're working on more books, including a collection of Mr. Pagsi's works, which have never been published, and a biography of Mr. Pagsy done by Manolo Ocampo, who was a spokesman also in the 70s. We're still figuring out this new setup, but I'm very excited for what Sibol has this coming year. We are undergoing recruitment right now, and it is a very exciting time. On one hand, it's scary, but like you were saying at Cholo, bakit kailangan ng binhi matabunan, di ba? Pagluksaan ng ulan bago maging halaman. There are opportunities that are emerging now that would never happen before. Even something like this, Sibol never had this platform. Di ba? There are stories I heard today that I have never heard before.
Nice.
So I was just very happy. This actually came out as a strange idea. I was talking to Lester kasi Menjola was the host of JMM Radio.
Thank you, Lester.
And thank you, Lester, kasi hindi lang kaya nung Himigiswita tonight. Biglang sabi ko, Sibol kaya. And I guess if there's one thing Sibol has taught me, it's to get people in trouble. But if there's another thing Sibol has taught me, diba, with our friends, we really do fly farther than we've ever flown before. Very, very thankful.
So Ali, meron na akong may suggestion na ako for the next couple of months, diba? One of the greatest, one of the most interesting gifts of Sibol across 5 decades and more to come is a history of pretty interesting Christmas music. From Hodie all the way to Magpaparol, which Mr. Pagsy wrote, to Noong Paskong Una, to a whole bunch of stuff after. So that's going to be pretty interesting, and the stories that can be told about how that music came about as well.
Uy, okay yun ha. Halina sa Sabsaban album. Actually, I think this is new ground, new territory. The fact that we are all together here is testament that we can actually do something. I'd really look forward to the alumni, particularly coming together to do something something memorable. We are 65 years old, and I think that is an auspicious time to collaborate and put our heads together and see what magic we can put out again. Because Dulaang Sibol has always been magic, diba? So and thanks a lot to Mr. Pagsanghan for instilling this magic in us. It is something that yun nga, will always live in us. And it's really the magic of finding Christ very early on in our young lives, diba? And really honing that relationship with Him and using it to build our talents and to look not at our own self-glorification when we sing our songs, when we play our instruments, when we act on stage. But it's really looking at the crucifix at the back end of the theater. That's the secret, diba, to Dulaang Sibol. We don't do it for ourselves. We do it really for Christ, who we find in our lives, and thank you to Mr. Pagsy for teaching us this lesson very early on, so that our entire lives is really just a response, a loving response to the Christ who says, I love you to us. Wow. All right. So,
Cholo, just because.
Nax. Thank you, Toto. All right. So guys, buy the book. For those of you who are watching us, alalahanin our memories of Dulaang Sibol. We have captured it all in one reading for you. Several essays of note, and of course the stories of our music, of our friendships, of our joys, our laughters, our despairs are all in this book, dedicated of course to Mr. Onofre Pagsangan. And what else? We will leave you tonight with two beautiful songs performed by our lovely Sibol ladies. All right. First, we're going to have a live video from Dulaang Sibol performing in their last public show before the pandemic struck, in honor of Our Lady. Of course, we celebrated Mama Mary's birthday yesterday, so we are going to end the night with a lovely tribute song entitled "Lovely Lady Dressed in Blue." But before we end the night, I just want everybody to do their final shout outs, or if you have any other messages, please do so. So let's start off with sige, Ray, please do the honors. Start it off, your final greetings and messages for tonight.
Maraming salamat sa imbitasyon. Hopefully maniniwala na mga anak ko na may ginawa rin ako nung high school ako.
Of course. Thank you, Ray, for the gift of your music. And next we have Toto.
Thank you for inviting me, isang karangalan maging kasama sa panel na to na puro mga Sibol legends. So, nakakatuwa. And hello sa mga kabatch or mga ka-90s na nanood. Thanks.
Thank you also because legend ka na rin, Toto. Maraming salamat. Raf?
Hello. So, it's actually been 2 years since I was last on Radyo Katipunan. I was with my batchmates the first time, and now I'm here again. So this is kind of a homecoming for me. Pero thank you so much po for inviting me to be part of this panel of legendary musicians. Hindi naman po ako legendary. So thank you.
Malapit na. Just keep singing, keep building the music. Doc Dino.
Tawag dyan rough fishing.
Soon to be legend.
Yeah, ano lang, siguro shoutout na lang sa batchmates ko, batch 2007, and also to everyone to check out the song Ambon on Spotify, featuring Mitzi Lau, and it was co-written by Gian Abrahan and also composed by Raf, actually.
Right. I'm gonna put that on my playlist, Dino. Talaga papakinggan ko yan. Great mood music also for rainy weather. Yes, and let's hear from the ladies. Mitzi.
I thank you again for having me and the rest of the ladies and everyone. It's really a blessing to be called a Sibolista. Maraming salamat. Hi to my batchmates, Nico, Ralyonza, you guys. Thank you so much for making Sibol home to me. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Keep safe, everyone.
And sige, Yana.
Hello po. Salamat po sa pagkakataon na inimbita niyo po kami dito. Sana po patuloy niyo pong supportahan ng Sibol at sa mga future na production po namin. Yun lang po. At shoutout po sa mga batchmate kong 21. Yes po.
Very good. Direct Camila.
Ayan. Maraming salamat po ulit sa pag-invite sa amin dito. Sobra po namin na-appreciate to. And yun po, support Alay kay Maria. Yun
yes.
Maraming salamat.
May exact dates na ba tayo for October? For Alay?
Yes po, meron na po.
What dates are we
October
are we looking
18 po
forward to?
ang dates.
October 18 for Ale kay Maria. All right. So and let's head to Mayumi.
Thank you po again for having us. It was a great opportunity to be here po. And again, watch Ale kay Maria on October 18.
All right. And Ana Carmel? Ana Carmel.
Thank you po for the invitation. Sobrang an honor po. And I hope you continue to support Sibol kahit wala na kami sa teatro. Yan lang. Thank you.
Ayan. And finally, Jade.
Yes, Ulit. So thank you for having us po. And I'd like to shout out one woman in our batch who isn't here right now, Isa. She never fails to put a smile on my face. And buy alalahanin on Lazada and Shopee. And again,
sale ba ngayon?
Yes, so sale, 9/9 sale. And yeah, thank you. Watch Ale kay Maria on October 18.
Yay! And before I go to you, Ali, I just want to acknowledge Ding Ison pala is watching us, Rhea Husay. Thank you, Ding. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And all the other Sibolistas, si Baroque Gutierrez, Jason, Marcos, Eric Lirios, thank you all for joining us tonight. Ali, ikaw, may mga ibang shoutouts ka pa?
Well, again, thank you.
Thank you for putting this together for us. Thank you.
Well, there is another one on September 19, a similar program with some more tributes and some more music as we formally launch Alalahanin. So watch out for that. That's live. That's here. And again, Ale kay Maria, October 18. Immensely grateful to be surrounded by so much love, by so much talent, by so many wonderful people.
All right. And thank you, of course, to JMM Radio, Jesuit Music Ministry, who just released the album Holy Darkness, the Ignatian Spirit in the Time of COVID-19. So it can be streamed already on Spotify and will be available on other digital musical platforms this Friday. Ayan, so watch out for that launch of Holy Darkness, the Ignatian Spirit. Okay, so as I mentioned, let us exit tonight with two lovely songs, Lovely Lady Dressed in Blue, and we will end the night with Oyayi featuring Miss Paula Deles from the Alalahanin launch. So thank you so much for joining us tonight on JMM Radio, JMM Takeover with Dulaang Sibol, and we hope to see you all again, of course, in Dulaang Sibol. More power, ladies. Keep up the spirit and the magic in Dulaang Sibol, and we wish you all well. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight right here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.
Ang tumatangis at ang pag-ibig, anong tamis, alalahanin, gunitain.
Lady dressed in blue, teach me how to pray. God was just your little boy. Teach me what to say. Teach me how to pray. Teach me what to say. Lovely lady dressed in blue. Teach me how to pray. Was just teach me what to say. Teach me what to say.
matulong na ipigit mga mata aking bunso humiling na mangarap na mangarap sa parang nangalapap, magabuhap, maghagilap, mga talang alitaptap, o piraso ng pangarap. Aking bunso, matulong na ipigit mga mata aking bunso humihimbing na mangarap na mangarap pa. Habang yapos ng iyong ina, nayakap ng iyong ama, habang ligtas sa pangamba, mangarap na mangarap pa, mangarap na aking bunso
Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit Music Ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.